Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of MiG-29 Rocket Men. This is Killerfliege speaking from 1st Gruppe Jagdgeschwader 7 Novotny, and today I've got another episode for you covering the second sortie squadron mate Kieran and I made on the DDCS server, conducting rocket strikes in the MiG-29 against enemy facilities. So let me give you a short briefing so you know what this mission is about. If you remember from the first episode, we supported a ground attack on the city of Hama, whereas our troops approached the city from the north and we engaged troops inside the city. So as we're getting ready here for takeoff, today's mission is about another rocket attack, as I previously mentioned, this time on targets south of Hama. Because the attack was successful and our troops could capture the city, so there is targets south of Hama that we now need to engage. This time it is a FARP, an enemy FARP, or FOB, better said, that we need to destroy, because the FOB has ammo facilities, storage facilities that we need gone to support our ground troops and our advance during the campaign. So we just took off from H3 Air Base in Iraq, and we are now making our way to the target. As you can see, Kieran is again our flight lead, and I am his wingman, and you will see this entire sortie from my perspective. So now we are basically climbing toward cruising altitude to save some fuel, and the goal is, the attack strategy is that at a comfortable distance before the target, we would dive down and use terrain masking to approach the target, pop up last minute, quickly assess what the target is, where it's located, and then run our attack runs and get the hell out of there. Fly northeast to the nearest friendly airbase, where we would land and finish the sortie should we both survive. So this is the plan for today. As you can see, the distance to the first waypoint is still like 137 kilometers out, so I'm going to spare you with the navigation phase of this flight. We basically did it like last time in close formation, and I'll be back with the actual combat footage of this flight. Alright, so welcome back, and as you can see we are just diving down, so this is our ingress point, if you will. I think at this point we are some 30-ish kilometers away from the target. We haven't spotted any threats along the way in terms of SAMs or enemy air, so we are pretty confident that we can make it to the target undetected. We are trying to stay as low as possible, and as you can see I switched to a trail formation because low down this is much easier to follow, and as you can see Kieran makes some adjustments to the flight path that are sometimes a bit sudden, and hence a trail formation is for me easier to follow and to maintain sight on him whilst watching the terrain at the same time. We have the mountain ridge in front of us, so you will see we go a bit lower, and just up there in the distance will be our pop-up point where we conduct our pull-up to assess the target real quick and run our attack. So slight course corrections here by Kieran to guide us on the target, and now as you will see we will go a bit lower to make sure we stay below the terrain. Now this is obviously the dangerous part of this mission together with the attack, so we want to make sure we make this as quick and swift as possible before the enemy has time to react and see what we are actually on about. So yeah, wait for the pop-up. So we have almost reached our pop-up point, and as you will see, the next section of this video will go real quick, so it will cover the pop-up, the attack and the retreat. So we went over the plan real quick, where we are in the progress of doing so. Kieran is gonna pop up first. Obviously I'm gonna follow him whilst he's checking out the target. I'm scanning, I'm supposed to scan the surroundings for threats, man-pads, anything else, launches, missiles, whatever we can think of. There is the target off in the distance. Yeah, so we are popping up, and I stay in trail pursuit formation, and I'm looking out toward the target. So far no launches to be detected. We are already almost at 3,000 meters, not necessarily above ground, but that's barometric altitude, which means that at the moment we would be relatively safe from man-pad threats, and as you can see, nothing is being fired at us. And what we spotted also is a radar station, which is this white dome structure on the top of that little mountain ridge. So this is gonna be Kieran's primary target, and I'm going to attack the FOB, which is currently on my 10 o'clock position. The reason being is that the radar dome is a very sensitive target that when destroyed will be a big blow to the enemy. So watch as he's going in for his attack, pop in flares to distract any potential missiles, and as soon as he's done I made sure he's fine. I'm being locked by something, but I'm conducting my strike, so didn't even have the time to unload all of my missiles, rockets, and Kieran's order to RTB immediately. I am following, so I'm egressing after my attack. Since everything happened so quickly on my side, the attack run or approach was probably a bit poor. So yeah, but I also didn't really have time to check what we actually took out. Alright, so as we are heading our way back to a friendly airfield to the northeast, I just forgot the name. I think it's Hama, but I'm not sure. We will check later on the map. Yeah, we are heading back, and on our way back we got a radar or call out, a radio call out by this GCI or the AWACS, that we have a bogey inbound which is relatively close. So you will see Kieran breaking off to meet that bogey and very quickly handling this engagement. So this is something that you usually see on missions like this. Only a small fraction of the actual mission is combat and very intense. The rest is transitioning, going over the plan, briefing, stuff like that. But this is what's so interesting about this. So you saw we just had a small fraction of time. So, and as you can see, he's already turning into the bandit, got lock on, fires his missiles, breaking off. I haven't even figured out where the bandit is and what's happening. So he told to turn cold, so I'm turning cold as well. And there is the message. and there is the enemy. So it was rather close, this enemy plane, and good for him that he spotted him, otherwise he would have shot us in the rear, I suppose. So this is also the reason why we carried two R-77s for self-defense purposes, and that was a prime example of that. And with that enemy destroyed, we are finally heading back to home. Alright, so here is the friendly airbase that we were looking for, and I guess this is Hama. So good for us that Hama has been captured in the previous missions of this campaign, previous days of this campaign. So I'm inbound, configuring the plane for landing. Kieran is already landed or on final approach. This time both of us made it home alive, which is always good. We took out our target, and we also destroyed an enemy plane, a Mirage 2000 at this point in the process. So overall, quite successful mission. And as we are going, or as I'm going in here for landing, just to recap on what's just happened. So you see, in modern air combat, it is quite a bit different compared to, let's say, a World War II environment. As I said previously, you have a very short period of time where there's a lot of action going on, and it's all about preparation and getting your head in the game, and be quick in what you're doing. So the attack, taking out that bogey, everything happened so quickly, and everything in between was looking out, making sure we are not engaged, watching the sensors, staying together, and survive in the process. So quite interesting dynamics that you can see here on the server, and quite interesting gameplay in a modern environment, in a modern PvP environment like that of the DDCS server. So we are probably going to conduct more of these missions in the future. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it useful, and see you in the next one. Killerfliege out.